Good morning.
Morning, Sabrina. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. We're live.
Yay.
We're live on the group. So, yeah, Sabrina, do you want to talk a little bit about your site?
I will. I haven't looked at anything you've done because I wanted to be a surprise. I had like a quick look at the front. I thought, oh, that looks fantastic, but I haven't really looked at it. So, yeah. So I work with my husband here from Spain. Both of us are Irish, but we moved to Spain 10 years ago, and we've been teaching English since. And I recently started working full time with him. And most of what we do is work in companies. You can hear me okay, no?
Yeah, yes, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, we work in companies here, normally around Alicante, but in Spain as well, giving English classes, English programs. And about a year ago, I started setting up online courses. You know, this like, yeah, set up an online course, passive income crack. That doesn't work like that. But yeah, so I've been in the online space for about a year. I mean, all of our classes now are online, obviously, with the COVID situation, so it's great. But yeah, we work with companies, we work with professionals, and we do group classes as well for people who are learning English here in Spain and around the world as well. So that's what we do. So the website is kind of has a couple of purposes. It has the purpose of kind of promoting our work with companies, because what we also do for the companies in Spain is help them set up funding for their classes so they can have like free classes. And then also to advertise our services for the groups, and then for the online part, which, you know, I'm not having too many students in there at all yet, but little by little, between your marketing course and things like that, you know, little by little, I'll get there with that.
Yeah,
so.
Sabrina's done the marketing course. She's pretty active on all the lives that we do, and that's what you need. Like, to get good at this, you need to be active and you need to be learning these new things. You know, because not only, yeah, I mean, Sabrina, you're doing all this yourself, aren't you? You're not hiring anyone to do any bits for you.
No, all myself. We got someone from Fiverr for the first time last week to do the logo. That's it. The rest has been just me.
But the good thing about that is that you are going to know the platform, or you're going to know your site inside out. Now, this is a big thing. If you get other people to do stuff for you, you're like, well, how do they do that? You've got to keep going back to people. And the system's easy to work, but you've always got this thing that causes problems, because, you know, especially if you're not a designer and you're trying to design it. So sometimes you need a pointer. And I think that's why these live builds will be quite good, because it sets a kind of tone. You can sort of understand where it's going from, or where you want to get it to. So that's what we're trying to achieve here. So I have seen a few things in the site. I don't want to scare you too much, but they're pretty easy to fix. There's nothing wrong with it. Obviously, all the words and everything are perfect because you're doing your English.
Yeah, so I saw a mistake this morning. So.
Oh, you saw a mistake. What was that?
When I was looking, I was like, well, not good for an English teacher, but yeah.
Yeah. But it happens, you know, it happens to everybody. It doesn't matter. And those who don't make mistakes do nothing. Okay. That is the thing. That's what I've noticed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this site's pretty messy, David. I'm sure you've noticed, like, I have a lot to do on it, really.
Yeah, it's not, you know, it's usable. As we've got it at the moment, it's usable, and there is, everything's working. There is a purpose to it, and it works. So, like, as Kevin says lots of times, like, keep things really simple. You know, trying to do too much. This is probably the biggest hurdle with some of the course creators. They're trying to do too much on their site. I still been doing it, yeah, but I've been doing this for decades, and it's kind of like, all I use is, I don't even use assignments, and I've only started recently to start thinking about using the lives, but I just have a video and I just have text. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, and it can be that simple. And sometimes putting assignments in now, I've noticed myself, even with the marketing course, it's like I'm getting questions back. Do I have to do this video? Is it compulsory? It's like you can get a ton of questions back. Be really careful with setting compulsory assignments, because Sabrina knows this, because I had to go through all the assignments when I first ran the marketing course. And it was like, oh my God, I've made a rod for my own back. You need to have the time to do that. And how much are you charging for the course? Is it practical? These are things that need to go through your head. So if you can automate as much as possible, that's the key. That way you can go off on holiday and it'll still, my courses on my main site are, you know, I can leave them. I don't touch them. I can just go on holiday, come back, and it's making me money while I sleep, which is what we all want.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just set up a membership as well. It's totally in beta stage, but I mean, watching how the way you did the marketing course and things like that has really kind of inspired me and things to do like as well. So I have to say the marketing course was brilliant. I knew SEO existed. I didn't really know much more than that. And I'm almost a year doing it. How crazy is that? Like, so all of the things that we did in the marketing course were really useful. It's just, it's such basic stuff, but you don't know what you don't know, you know?
Yeah, that's it. It's easy, isn't it, Sabrina?
Yeah, it's just follow the steps, you know, step by step. Really, it's great.
Yeah.
I totally recommend it. It would cost a fortune if you were to pay for it, like really. So yeah.
In the real world. Well, we're in Zenler world. So
yeah, you guys are great.
All right, let's jump into your site then. Do some screen sharing. Feel free to jump in at any time, Sabrina, if you've got a question to ask. I'll put stuff back to you, but it's all very easy. Here we go. So here we have the site here. We have Sabrina and Killian's site. So this is Ingles Con Killian. So nothing wrong with this site. It's just a little bit confusing with lots of stuff going on, and it kind of things spread out. You probably know this yourself, Sabrina. It's like massive spacing with things. With this sort of stuff, if we can keep it all really compact, it looks better visually, as you're going to see. But it works, you know, it works. The site goes through and it's all good. I quite like the way you did this. This was quite good. I've given you 2 examples of this, but there is a problem with this, as you're going to see later. Okay. Not like this, but when we go into mobile devices. Okay. Yeah. So we got, I think you've added a couple of new bits to this page. I don't remember.
No, what happened is this page is the enrolled page, and then the unenrolled page I had updated, which I think is a little better than this one, but probably not much. But maybe that's what you mean. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. I got you. All right. Yeah. You pushed this up and things.
Yeah, I did that a couple of weeks ago. And the intention was to transfer it over to the enrolled page, but I'm going to wait until you work your magic, do it all together.
I wouldn't go that far, Sabrina.
I don't know, that better than I'm doing.
So we got, there was a few things that sort of stood out to me. There was kind of like, this is floating here. It would be better if it was, this is like contact, we're getting people to buy into the courses or membership, but you know, it can be different for different people. But there was a kind of few bits that were kind of going around. There was also no, and this was a big one for me. It's one of my little things that niggles me is when fonts change and there's big size differences between certain fonts and things. So with that in mind, this is the first thing I do. So like, not only do I show you what I've done, but I show you why I've done it. And I think that is probably more important than actually seeing the end result, because it means that you can go off on your own and you can have that thinking. So I've created, what I always do is I like to create a little simple color palette and font choice that I choose, because I see you've used Lato, but there's a few different fonts scattered inside. So you can make your life so much easier if you have a little color palette to work from, so you know the colors that you're going to use throughout the site. And you can change tones of those main colors, as I'll show you, and also to set yourself with a font. So Lato works really well with some of the smaller text that you've used in here. Yeah. And so I've kept it as Lato because I don't want to go, you know, like I said, I try and take a light approach to this. What you're going to see I've done is completely different to what you've got. But trust me, it's pretty much the same. It's just changing a few colors, maybe changing a background image and changing and tightening up the font. Other than that, it's pretty much the same. So it shows how you can get a completely different look with just a few little extra elements.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you what I've done for your site here. So I'm going to have to open some of this up. So I've got stuff here. This was a really nice photo of both of you. So I've kind of put you together, and I've used that in a graphic later. And but it'd be good if you got a photo done with both of you in it, so you haven't got to montage it together, because things like the light go differently. That's why I've made it black and white there, kind of semi-tone, just because the light changes. I also looked for some, and I didn't use some of these, but I looked for some PNG files. So guys, if you are not very good at using things like Photoshop or Pixlr, that's pixlr.com, which is like a photo editing site, then you can find already cut out images inside of something like Pixabay. So I'm going to jump to Pixabay. Let me just stop my share and jump.
And you can also use Canva as well.
Yeah, you can. If you've got the pro version of Canva, I'm going to be showing that. If you've got the pro version of Canva, you can go in and basically make the background invisible.
Yeah.
So it's like the background that you've got in on your webcam there behind you, apart from the plant, you could easily remove that color from behind you, because there is, but you need the professional version of Canva to be able to do that. So we're trying to find things for free. Pixlr is really good because you can cut yourself out, move yourself from the background.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Pixlr, and it's free. It's the closest thing to Photoshop I found. So I've used that. There's a lot of powerful tools. It's absolutely free. I use Photoshop just because it's so much quicker for me to do. But you can do it all in Pixlr as well. And we've done videos on Pixlr. So I'm going to show you in Pixabay now. That if we search for, I'm going to type in people in here. So up the top, these are all paid for, but these are all free down here. Now, what we can also do is we can look in here under images, and then we can look for color, and you can choose transparent. So what that will do is will give us up search results with every image with a transparent background. So a transparent background means that you could put it on a page and any colors or images you've got underneath will show through. So this is really handy on Pixabay. It's got it built in. Click go. And this is now giving us all these images that are on transparent backgrounds. So all this background is transparent. So if you put that in your site, any color that you've put on the blocks behind it, they will show through. So really powerful, just like, and that's where I got this image from. So it's something people don't look for when they're looking for images online. They might want to use something and they're like, I want to get rid of that background.
Yeah.
But Pixabay's already got that built into it. And there's loads of images there that there we go. That's that image there that I've got on here. I've just cut away the desk a little bit. So you can get those. So just to sort of show you that. The other thing is Canva, which Sabrina was talking about. Canva's great. And especially if you set up a template, and we're going to look at that later because there's something else with the site that I need to show you. And that is if we go into responsive mode. So I don't know if you saw this earlier, Sabrina, but if you have Chrome open, you right hand click, go down to inspect, you're going to get this little tab appear, probably locked to the side. If you click here, you can go to responsive mode.
Okay. No.
Yeah. So you just click inspect. Let me just do it again, just so it's clear. Right hand click, inspect. Little toggle.
Okay, so basically the same as if you're inside the site checking. It's the same thing, no? Or
it's more advanced.
Okay, cool.
You can do it in the site like that, but this is really advanced because you can check on different devices.
Wow. Okay.
So it's going to give you what it looks like on all the different devices. So this is what I standardly use to.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because sometimes inside the site you might check it looks okay, and then when you come out, you know, and you try and do it on your own phone or something, there's letters.
Yeah, because it doesn't give you the exact, it gives you a mobile size. I'm not sure what the size is, but it gives you a mobile cut down, so it shows the flow. Generally that's good enough because you can look through it and see. But I like to use this. It's quicker. I don't have to jump. I don't act, and this is a big one. If you jump to showing the mobile and you make a change in there while it's a mobile view, it can get locked in. Yeah. And if it gets locked in, you kind of like, you could have more problems. So it's good using the mobile to make tweaks. So like, for instance, if I saw this was out, like this line spacing here, I could go into the mobile version, tighten it up, and then it would be all right across devices. So it's kind of using both, but this is really good. But this is the point I was going to bring you. One is the line spacing. This is something that people do all the time because they don't need to check it. So what someone will do is they'll do a long line of text, and what will happen in mobile is it will wrap. But because they've left the line spacing, because it didn't show because it was one line, then if the line spacing is too big, there can be massive gaps between the line spacing or too tight. So I'll be showing that in a second anyway, but this is the thing I was going to talk about. As we scroll down, it's all good. Hopefully you haven't corrected this.
I haven't done anything.
Right, okay. So this is all good. Look, we've got all our images. They're all nice. And then as we get to the bottom and we get to, oh, no, it's fine there. What's happened?
Didn't do anything.
Oh, you can see here that, there we go. See this space here to here? Look at yours.
It's different.
Different size.
David, I wouldn't even see that, to be honest.
I know, but you,
how bad I am.
Know about it because a major reason that you need to know about it is that you could be doing that throughout other courses. Hold on, let me just, I'm sure there was another page I looked at and it was wildly out on the sizes. Probably. So the key here is to make sure that you're working to the same size. So whenever you're uploading images, so you'll take images on your mobile phone and or a camera. So you might take one on a camera, oh, that looks good, and then on a mobile phone you take another one, you get those images and you just upload them and it's they look good and it's fine. But when you see them, you might set the size, but as soon as they come down to be responsive, they can jump down in different sizes. So some can be big, some can be small. And the way you can avoid this is you could use Canva. So you could use Canva to set a base size for it. So what I always say, let me go in and open Canva up and share again. Little tip. Use a template. So I did one for Lynn Cow. She wanted some video cards.
I thought it sounded familiar. I think I saw that.
Yeah. Do you remember she did this? So you can do the same. What I like to work with, they do give you a size. I think it's 480 by 860 or something for course cards. But what I do, and this is my key tip to you, keep everything 1920 by 1080 for course cards, videos. If you're shooting in videos at HD, and hopefully everybody is, then if you keep that size, the ratio of a video in HD is the same size in ratio as the course card. Okay. You set up one template and you can reuse it. So if you're going to do that, you can go create design, go down to the video template here, just click that, and that's going to give you this. So now if you have an image on your desktop, you can just pop it straight into here. So you could just take a photo, and let me just grab an image. If I can find one. Good. Okay, so I got some surfing images there. So I'm going to drop this in here. There we go. And now what I can do is I can get it and I can crop it in that area. And then that can be my course card. So if I want to create another one, obviously I put some graphics over the top. You can use text and do all that cool stuff. You know, if you're doing a sale or something, drop that in there. And then if you're going to create a new one, you can just duplicate it. So you can add a page, and then you can just add a new page in there. So you can keep adding different images inside here, and you can export them out. So you can just do a download.
So David, you put this on video. So this would be, for example, for an intro or something, or?
Yeah, I mean, you could use the video feature in here, but you can also just export.
Just download as a PNG.
No, Sabrina, you picked me up there on that. I thought I got away with it, but I haven't. So I need to go, create a design. I'm going to go custom size, and then I'm going to choose 1920 by 1080. There we go. So that's going to give me a proper canvas sheet like this. Okay. So then I would do the same. I could come in there. I was wondering why it didn't give me the duplicate there. So then I can go across here and I can add some cool graphics. Let's go and add, this is kind of like, take that. Let's change the color to something like that. Take that, do it. This is a bit like Lynn's site. So
oh man, you can tell you've been doing this for a long time.
you can just put it in there like that, move that background image, and put text over the top. So, so just drop that in there. So once you have that, you can then drag other images in. So I can come in here, I can duplicate this page out. I can go into here and go, okay, I quite like this sort of pinky color. And then I'll get rid of, detach the image from the background, bring in a new image, something like that.
That's how you get rid of the image in the background. Oh man,
yeah, if it's
I've been using Canva for nearly a year and I didn't know that. Yeah.
Well, that's good. And so you put that in there, and then if I want that at the back, I can right hand click and I can just send backwards, or I can send to back. And instantly you have these, and of course they're now downloadable. So I can select this as JPEG, and I can say, right, I want to export them all, which will be the page names. Or I can go, I'll just export this one today. I click done, download, and that will pop up in my download folder. So I can reuse it. But the good thing about this is, one, it speeds up your production time, keeps things consistent, and also makes the size exactly the same for each of the images that you're doing.
Good.
So you're going to need to check your site in responsive and make sure none of the images are different sizes. If they are, you're going to have to either resize them or use this technique to do it.
Okay, great. So you're saying that you downloaded that one. So then in the future, you could upload it again and just make whatever changes you wanted, right?
Well, I don't need to, because I can just just go back. Yeah, I mean, if I just
duplicate and change.
Yeah, if I just saved it, if I just automatically, Canva will save.
Hold it for you, yeah.
Yeah, so I can go back into it if it's, I don't even know where it is. Will have saved it. Probably need to refresh.
In all your designs, probably.
Yeah, it's just in there. I think it's that one. So there it is.
Yeah.
So then you've got a whole thing. So it's really good idea to set these kind of templates up. I don't do it using Canva, but I do it with all the stuff I do for everything else I work for. Like if I'm doing, I'll quickly show you, I have a base template inside of Photoshop. So I don't use Canva, I use Photoshop or Illustrator. But Canva's fantastic because it's easy to use. Everybody loves it, and it's really easy to put things together. If you're like me and you do like photo retouching and these kind of things, this doesn't cut the mustard. So I need to use professional programs. And that's why I use Illustrator or Photoshop. So my Photoshop, but I'm still working from a template. Whatever I'm doing, if like for Zenler stuff, we have so many different things. Like we have the new Zenler, the new features template, we have the Zenler templates, the course templates. Yeah. And I need to be able to, I can't reproduce those every time. I need to be working from a template to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah,
that's better.
Yeah, so that's what I do with it. Photoshop's quite a heavy program, so it's not, here it is. So it's
yeah,
opening.
I need to do that. I'm guilty of going in and, you know, changing things because I like playing around with Canva and stuff, but I need to just work from, you know, be better at the branding and work from the same colors and designs and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's easy to miss these things, but I promise you, if you start using templates more, doing it for everything, it's going to speed up your work and keep things.
Yeah, and it looks better. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like here, I've got like the new features, you know, for stuff that we're doing. I've got all these templates that are set up in here that I can just go in and edit these how I like. They're all under one file, but it's Photoshop. It's exactly the same as you working with Canva and setting up these templates. So guys, you guys that are watching, this is a massive time saver. It will keep things consistent, especially the sizes, and it's all there, you know. And I tend to work with, my biggest tip is to work with 1920 width by 1080 width, height. Use that for course cards. For background images, use as big as you can, because when you upload them into the system will resize it to the maximum size it can. So people get confused. They're looking like, what's the exact size for that? What's the exact size for this? I don't work with those sizes. I don't even know what they are, because I always work with 1920, 1080 for everything, all my course images, everything. I use the same one for my videos. And then for background images, I use an image that's over 3000 width, because I know the Zenler system will automatically crop it in or to that size. So I don't have to worry about any of that. So people get overly stressed about, what's the exact size to get that in there? Why doesn't the top and the bottom show, and these things? It's like, make the image as big as you can within reason, and just make sure that from the edge to there, that's what you want to fit in the picture, and then just upload it or crop it using Zenler's crop tool in there. If it's a nice big image, it will still remain sharp. It's the biggest problem people have. They do low resolution images, so they'll be like 600 wide, and the Zenler system will automatically resize it to 1200, and it becomes blurry. So you need good quality images. On Pixabay, you're going to find that Pixabay gives you images to download at different sizes. So in here, if I'm downloading this, I always go for the highest one. Okay. And then I drop it into my Photoshop or your Canva template and resize it. I could do it at that if it's a course card, but I might want to use this later for a background image. So if I downloaded it at this size, then it's going to be just on point. But for people that have got bigger monitors, it might become blurry. So I'll always do it the biggest I can download it. Okay. Just a little tip.
Yeah, good to know.
Yeah, so that's that Canva. Right, so let me show you next what I have done in here then. So that was images. That's all about images. So I had the image sizes here, and these were the two that I was looking at. So if I have a look at this image, and we have a look at the properties of the image.
My husband, Killian in Ingles con Killian, doesn't even like this photo.
I think it's great. I love
like,
it.
oh my God. But yeah, we need to go and get some professional photos done really, but yeah, it's fine for now, you know.
I like it. I like this image. But you can see it's 2048 by 1125. If you look at this, these are the original image sizes that you had. Okay. And you can see the ratios out. Look, 737 by 405. Completely different sizes. Okay. Which it's fine. It's absolutely fine. This is what most people are doing, Sabrina.
I think they're mobile photos, like.
Yeah, it's just probably taken with different devices. So you might have set it's really easy on a phone to set the quality lower and then put it higher on the next shot or something, and then you find it's a different size. And sometimes you don't even notice. You're like looking at it and you're like, oh, but that's the same ratio, you know.
Yeah, it looks the same.
It looks the same. Look, I'm jumping between them. But if I make this really big like this, and then I jump between them, completely different sizes.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So I redid these at this size. So they're exactly the same size as each other.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, you can use Canva. So just throw them in Canva and it's fine. So that is image sizes. So it's something definitely to bear. It's going to help a lot of people out, Sabrina, spending a bit of time on this, because most people are doing this, you know?
Yeah, without even realizing, like me.
Yeah, it happens. So what I also did, and you can do this in Canva as well, is you can take an image and, you know, like when you're setting a background image, you can put a tint color over the top.
I vaguely know that can be done, but I've never done it. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's really, really easy to do. But you can also, if you wanted to, you could set your own tint color. So if you're using something like Canva, you could drop this image in there, and then you could put this color over the top, and then you can set an opacity for it to show through. So you can create your own bleed through, which can be handy. And I've done it, and I'll show you that later.
Yeah, that's much nicer than just having to fade it into kind of blandness.
Yeah, and also it means if you're using, you could use multiple colors in here, whereas Zenler only allows you to use one flat color and then knock it back. So this was one of the colors that I picked, and I didn't produce the branding sheet, so I'm going to have to just show it to you through. Okay.
How did you put the color on top of it, David? What did you use?
I use Photoshop, so I dropped an image. I dropped the image in there, and then I just put a layer on top and changed the opacity. But I'm pretty sure that you can do that inside Canva. I'm going to jump into Canva. We got loads of time. Right. So I just want to show you this branding sheet. So for you, I've set up these colors. So we're going to use black. We're going to use white. We've got this gray here. And then we're going to use these blues. So these kind of gunmetal kind of blue colors.
Yeah, I like them.
Bluey silver. But we also have these side colors here that we can use as well. So it's up to you. You can say, right, I'm going to use these as my main flow through the site. And then I'm just going to use these kind of little pickup colors, just to kind of
vary a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can go, lovely, yeah. You could change it a bit more. You could go even more into the oranges if you wanted to. You could change these to more of a gray instead of a bluey gray. But the thing is to set a palette up. So if you've got a palette set up, then I'm going to send these to you afterwards, Sabrina, anyway, with the color breakdowns as well. So you need to know the colors. To know the numbers, yeah. Yeah. So the other thing I straight away do is take my font. So I say, right, what am I using for the body font? When I'm using Lato for body. So that's mainly all the copy. And then what am I using for my titles or my super titles, really big ones, or my sort of subtitles or the small headings? So I chose Montserrat. The reason I chose Montserrat is it gives you a lot of choice of font type in there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's nice as well.
Yeah, you've got the styles. You can go medium. There's tons in there. You can go medium, bold, light. You can go lighter. You can go bold. You can go black. There's tons. And I've also set a line spacing as well. So I said for all the sizes, I'm going to make sure that the line spacing is 2 pixels above the font size. So if I've got Lato in at 16, the line spacing is going to be 18. It's going to go 2 above it.
Okay.
If I've got it in at 45, I'm going to go 3. I'm going to go 2 above it again. So it's 47. So that way I've set myself a standard. So if you've just got this, depending on how detailed this branding sheet is, if you've just got this, you can independently work on different pages, and you don't even have to refer back to any of the other pages because you've got that information.
Yeah.
So it means you're really quick, but you're not just quick, you're being consistent through the site.
Yeah.
So hopefully that makes sense, but I'm going to send you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fantastic. And the colors are lovely. One question with the line spacing. So whenever you go into the settings and you're choosing your size of your font, instead of, for example, 46, well, the line spacing should be, if you have 46, the line spacing should be 48, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
But this is just what I've set it. You might decide you want a bit more space between it. So you might say, oh, actually, and you might want to do it on a type level. So you might say the titles are going to have a line spacing of this much. The subheadings are going to have a line spacing of this much. You know, you can go as far as you want to go with this stuff.
Yeah.
It's just we're trying to create a sheet that makes it really easy for you to reference without having to go back and open another page up. Because you've only got to work on one page, and after you're working on one page, you'll probably remember these. And the next time you do it, you'll just go, oh, it's 45. That's 40. You won't even have to refer to the sheet because you already know it.
Yeah, but plus it makes everything look far better because it's much more uniform.
Yeah. That's the key here.
Yeah.
We're trying to keep everything uniformed and kind of in control. A lot of sites, when you look at them, you're kind of thrown into a little bit of confusion. And the only reason that's happening is because things are different sizes and they're your eye's doing this with it. It's like where is it? People want to sort of read and have real clear direction on sizes that are happening. Generally, people like to see bigger titles, and they like to see things going down like a funnel. If you're reading text, it's kind of like that. Also the break. So your line spacing in here, you have a line spacing of 56, which is huge. So I would say if I just try that rule of 32, you know, so 2 above that. This is on your live site, by the way. So I'm not going to save it, but that's if you do, you know. So it's like even things like this, this is quite nice spacing in here. And
that was the original spacing from the block.
Yeah,
I just
even
changed the words.
Yeah, even that. See, it probably wouldn't work with this. If I did it 17, it still works. Maybe it's a bit tight. Might need to go to 3 for that one, or, you know, but you can push it all up as well in these things. And this is kind of, you've used this. This is what I didn't like, was the color that was used for the background in here with the red going around the outside.
You didn't like the red?
No, it can't. Like, to me, it's a really kind of funny color against those backgrounds. So it wasn't sort of jumping out.
I was trying to kind of, I suppose, highlight it a little bit, but of course not knowing much about colors.
I mean, if we just changed it to a white, you know,
it's much nicer.
And because you got that blue in there, you'll watch these colors but this is the great thing. Once you've got your branding sheet together and you've got like you can play around with those colors, and if you just stick to the colors, you know, try different variations of the colors, see which one really attracts you.
Works.
But don't go off of the color palette. As soon as you go off the color palette, everything's becoming random.
I'm the type of person who would wear like spots with stripes and stuff. I don't really, you know, in terms of fashion sense. So when it comes to design and sites, it's kind of the same. But it totally makes sense what you're saying, because I don't want to have a site that has like really brash colors and stuff like that either. I want it to be nice and clean, and which is the color scheme that you have chosen is perfect. It's beautiful. So it's you see what I'm getting at. But it's all right. I mean, if you like to wear different, like you know, spots and all these things, that can be put into the site. You know, like, just think if we had a background color there of just like black and white spots, and then there was like an overlay of white and 90% opacity, so it just showed through. So you can still get your own character into the site and still keep it nice and clean. It doesn't mean you have to stay on this route of like rigidly, this, I've got to use this background and I've got to use this. You can still put emphasis in there, because remember that our sheet allows for that. So if you wanted to use black and white polka dots, you could. They're part of the branding sheet. We're not going off of it. So it's like that kind of thing. So let's show you here. This is what I meant about the overlay on any of the background images. And you've got a background image in here. We've got this background overlay. If you turn that on there,
you can go and set an overlay color.
Ah.
So you can go and choose whatever color you like, roll through here.
I don't think I noticed that before.
Yeah, and you can change also, Sabrina, change the opacity here.
Cool. Yeah, I did. I mean, I played around with all the buttons, but I don't think I actually realized that you could change the color.
Yeah, that's only on the blue block there.
Yeah.
The background. But it works. And don't worry, I haven't saved this. So when I close it, I'm just going to leave it. There you go.
I'll be changing it to whatever you do anyway. It doesn't matter, David. Don't worry.
I don't know. Right. So that is our kind of thing. Now I have, the other thing was our logo.
Mm-hmm.
This was something, this is the logo that you had on the site, which I downloaded. You sent me a high res one. I didn't use it. I actually took, I took the small one and I cut it out to give it a transparent background, because this is something that a lot of people want to do, but they kind of don't know how to do it. It's all about that transparent background. So if I come into the site here, you've got this light gray, but then you've got this logo. You can't read it.
You can see it, yeah.
Yeah. So we need to make it bigger. You're wasting a lot of space because your logo has got all this space around the outside.
Yeah.
And it would be good if it was cut out so that this is all transparent.
Yeah.
And we can do that because we can do that using our removal of the color around the outside of it. So we could take it into something like, all right, I'm going to try this. Right, this could go disastrously wrong. Let's see what happens. I'm going to jump into Pixabay. So I'm just going to stop the share and I'm going to try and show you how you can cut an image out. Pixlr, sorry.
I thought I had turned off the opt-in. I know you don't like them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the pop-ups. They pop-ups are good. The problem is that a lot of people nowadays have pop-up blockers. So
yeah, they can be annoying.
Yeah, it can be, but also it's like if you have an actionable button and they click it, the pop-up blocker won't stop it because they've actioned it. But if it just pops up, the pop-up blocker will stop it.
Yeah. So
if you want to guarantee more people coming through, I prefer to turn it off. It drives me nuts.
Yeah, I had it on for a few weeks there just because we're starting group classes, but I actually should have turned it off already.
Oh, right. Okay. So there's so look, Sabrina, we've got pixlr.com. Okay. And there's two versions. There's quick and easy graphic design and there's Pixely advanced photo editor. Trust me, right? I would go for the
quick and easy. Yeah.
No, I'm going to go for the easy one. So this is my account. This is where I cut out Lynn. She had lots of stuff going on in the background, and I cut her out of this this account. So this is kind of a test account. So what I want to do is I want to take your image and show you how we can take this. Now, your image is already, you got this image done and it was already done for you. It's already on a transparent background. So I'm going to get this so that I can flatten it. That way I can show you what's going on. Right, yeah, and this is where we could have a problem because I'm not used to this program. There we go.
Nothing like trying things out live, David. Eh?
I'm trying it live. This is a disaster waiting to happen. Right. So let me flatten the image off. I'm hoping it's all going to be the same as Photoshop. Here we go. So flatten image. All right, yeah, good. So I basically flatten these two images. So if you had an image like this, you've got this image. If you're getting an image done professionally, tell them to do it as transparent.
And transparent, yeah.
Yeah, tell them to do it because you don't want that hassle of doing that. So, right, so how do we do this right there? So if I choose a little tool here, it's an ellipse tool. I should be able to drag this out. And I should be able to move it to go around there. That looks nice. And I should be able to inverse this selection. Select inverse selection. And then I can hit the backspace And now I've created a cutout. So this
is brilliant, because it means it still comes up and
yeah, so any color I put underneath it, let me just put an empty layer in. This is how easy it is to work with this program. This is what I mean. It's really familiar to Photoshop. So I don't mind using this and even trying it live and messing up. So I'm going to change this to red over here. I'm going to use the bucket tool and I'm going to drop that in.
Cool.
So you can see.
Yeah, you definitely can see it. Yeah,
definitely.
Right.
Yeah, in that red. Yeah.
That's really cool.
So let me delete that layer out. So if I wanted to do this for my site, I can go in and use the crop tool here, and I can crop this around my image to give me maximum. I don't want to use any of that space outside here. It's not going to be used. So I come in here and grab it all like this. And then I think I can switch tool and it should do it. And now I can export this out. So if I go to File and Export Image as PNG, if you export as a JPEG, JPG, JPEG, it will not carry an alpha. This is the alpha.
What's an alpha?
Alpha is the transparent area.
Okay.
Okay, so if you think of images for web on the screen are RGB, which is red, green, and blue. Okay. JPEGs save the color channels out, but they don't save what's called an alpha. So when you're saving out as a .png file, you're saving it as RGBA, alpha channel. So that alpha channel is that invisible area. That's all you need to know. Now, all you need to know really is just save it as a PNG if you want to save the transparency. So if you do that, and it should, if you've got transparency in there, Pixlr will automatically say, oh, you want to save it out as a PNG file. It won't even ask you. So you can go quick export as image, and there it is there. So if I open that in my folder, you're going to see that I have it here. That is the image with a transparent background. So if I drop that on my desktop and I jump into your site and just demo that it works. Let's go and I'll add it to a page. Again, I'm not putting this into the page. I blow the live site up.
Don't worry. I doubt there's anybody looking at it, David. I wouldn't worry.
You guys are very trusting to let me in your site. You really are.
You have that kind of face. Trustworthy face.
Yeah, this is really cool though, because if you're using like PNG files, you're going to see later I've cut you out. You can put colors behind you and it's still going to show. So if I go into here and I drop that image in, so I'm going to go in here, going to go upload. I should better find this, should be on my desktop. There it is. And I click open.
So I'll have it in there now, right?
Yeah, you will have it in there after I've done this. Yeah. Perfect. So you can delete it out. But there you go. So you can go in there, and also, and you also can bring it down here. But the main thing here is the color. Is like the colors on the background will just show through. So you can put it straight into the page. So that's really cool because you can put it in, strategic places. Yeah, and really good for like floating elements, like you're going to see. Like I'll show you because I'm now going to jump into what we've done. Okay. All right, ready. So with all the stuff we talked about so far, this is where we see what a mess I've made of it all.
I'm really excited.
Let's go and have a look. So I'm going to open this page up. So this is what I've done. This was the same page, but I've just changed things around a bit. You can see straight away that we've got a much bigger logo here, and I put it on white, not on grey.
You can actually read it.
Yeah, you can read it now. Now, right, okay. So biggest thing here is by default, Zenler saves the logo for more long logos. You've got that problem happening with your site, not really because of the size of the image. It's more a case that you can't change that size. So this in here, we haven't got the option to be able to change the logo size at the moment, but it's coming We're going to have
Yeah, but if I put in what you just did in there, it's going to be at least better looking, no?
No, because it still keep it the same size. What I've done here is I've actually added what's called CSS code.
Oh God,
really
right.
easy to do. I'm going to do it for you anyway, but it's really easy to do. Just take code and you put it into the global includes. So I'm going to do it on your live site. You're going to let me know if you're happy with it, and then I can actually implement it.
Okay, fantastic.
Is that all right?
Perfect, perfect.
Right, let's do this. Right, so we're working on the live site. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to go into the site settings, and then I'm going to go into the branding, and then I'm going to go into this. I'm only going to make this change. The rest of the changes you can do. So where I've got my logo with all this white around the outside, we're going to put in the new logo.
Okay.
So this is going to happen on the live site. So I'm going to click this. We're going to grab this, open it up, and it's now in there. So let's have a look at the site page now. Refresh. There we go.
Yeah, much better.
So already we can see it, but we can go even more with this. We can use what's called a little bit of CSS code to actually make it bigger. So I don't want to get into this too much, but we can use CSS code to do it. So to give you an idea, and I'm not going to cover it here, but I'm going to do it after we finish, Sabrina. So I can do it for you. But if we take something like a logo, we can actually set it to be bigger like this.
Wow.
But I'd probably do it to something like that. I can take that code and I can copy it. Notice I've just taken this. This is using that same inspector, right hand clicking, inspect, the same one that we changed the device sizes. I can take this code here, copy it. If I refresh this page, it isn't set on the page. This is just to test it. So if I'm happy with that size, I can go into your site settings. I can go under global includes, and inside of here, I can put that code. I need to put style in here and
the code.
Style at the end. It's really easy to do, guys. If you want to know how to do this, go into the Ninja Tricks course. It's in there. Now I click update, that's been applied. So if I now go to your site and I hit refresh, you're now going to get this new size or not. I love it when we're live. Love it. All right.
In style at the bottom, there's an extra forward slash, or?
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about coding.
There we go. So there we go. Sometimes you need to put an important tag because then it overrides the system tag. So that's what we've done. We've just added that in there in style, and it's come across. Now, we do need to drop the menu down so it resembles more like this. And that takes a little bit more work. So, but it does mean now that you could change this background color, and that's going to be cut out lovely in there.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go back one here, Sabrina. I'll send you this code anyway, and we can just make it perfect after the live. Okay. So I'm going to go back to what it was before because I don't want to mess the site up at this stage because I need to move things down. But that's how we can do it. So what I've got here is what I want to do. Now, if I was to change the dynamic header here for this duplicate page, it would ripple through the whole site. So because I didn't want to do that, I actually designed this up myself in here.
Okay.
Just to show you, because I don't want to destructively work with a site that I'm just playing around.
I would say constructively, not destructively.
No, I don't want to destructively.
Yeah.
So it's working in a non-destructive manner. So I'm not affecting your live site. You'll even see that the page that I've got in here under your pages, that it's actually unpublished. Yeah. Because I don't want it to pick up in site ranking results and things like that when you haven't approved it and assigned it to your pages. So it's just working in a safe way. This is what I do with all the live builds. We work very safely to make sure it's not messing the site up. So all the content in this page is the same as your page here, but it's just been compacted down. We've used those colors that you saw in the branding sheet. So this one's going for a kind of more bronzy silver. So we've got this thing in the background we've got here. So if you click this, we've even designed this to make it look using your branding. I must admit, I'm not that happy about this image in the background. I think it's looking a little bit too much like a kind of makeup site. But it looks nice, you know, it's getting there. So if we go down, I've still got your course blocks in here. There's definitely something we can do with these as well, but it's okay for now. And then we've got
the pictures are different size as what you were talking about before.
The
last one's a different size.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I was going to point out to you, Sabrina. So you might want to go in there, set a template up, just re-upload images for all of your course cards.
Absolutely.
And remember to do it for the SEO course card as well on the SEO.
Okay.
So again, we have your contact information there. So it's all just a bit more kind of, I'm not looking at it in incognito, I'm looking at the wrong page. You know,
I mean, you can't compare the two sites. Yours is beautiful compared to mine.
Well, it's the same content. It's just like adding maybe a background image, making sure the fonts are consistent. It's really just
it looks a lot more professional, David.
Yeah, you see how if working from that simple branding sheet, you can totally resurface the website completely without breaking anything you've done. I didn't have to add any new content. It was just basically take that block, remove that image, put that tint behind it, put a little block there, but the content's the same. Change the spacing to make it a little bit more kind of like running line. So this is the only different font that I've got. And that was just because I thought it might be quite nice to.
It looks very elegant, yeah.
Yeah. And have it, and the equal sign that you had, it put me off. I don't know why. It kind of looked like it was, I don't know what it was. It's just when I looked at it, I was like, oh, I don't know why that's in there. It felt like it should be an equation or something.
Yeah. See, the thing about, because in the future I'm going to have to translate the site into Spanish as well, because our clientele is Spanish, but I have to be careful with the language that I'm using, that it has to be similar, you know, when you can translate it for people who have lower levels. So I suppose I was trying to simplify, but yeah, you're right. It equals is better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can do that in a course, but maybe like to have it on the page. Yeah, I see. Yeah, because you're going to do a Spanish version of this same thing. Well, in the Spanish version, put equal sign.
No, this is better. It's nicer. But I was just trying to keep everything kind of simple, and I suppose that's why I stuck in an equals, because it's kind of international. But yeah, it's not very nice.
And I thought what would be quite nice is because you almost have it like a quote. So you could have these throughout the site. You could put little key things like, you know, I'm sure
statements,
yeah, like, you know, sort of things like from what is the word, from a nut, a great oak tree can grow or something, you know, those kind of things. That didn't make any
no
sense.
idea what you're talking about.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Yeah. So anyway, so I thought that'd be quite good. You could sort of put them in there, play around with the colors as well. You might want to use this lighter kind of color coming through, and again, consistency. So I thought we'd go bold on this and then take this down to light for a little bit of subheading on there.
The Montserrat is lovely.
Yeah. So it just totally changes it. So here was a good one. Ooh. I actually used a slideshow to do this.
I like that.
Yeah, I did play around with 3 blocks of text, like a bit like you've got it on here.
But that's a lot cleaner with the sliding. Yeah,
but also gives you room to maneuver with it. So if you need to put more in there, you can put more in.
Yeah, and it doesn't look cluttered. It's much cleaner.
Yeah. What I like to do also is if you've got more than about 5 5 or 6 of these testimonials, it's quite a good idea to have a page and have the testimonials on there.
Testimonials page. Okay.
Yeah, create a page, and then you can put a little button underneath here, and then people can click straight through to it.
For more testimonials. Okay. Yeah.
So that gives you a lot of flexibility. It also keeps it very tight as well. Looks nice. And then we've got here, so this is the new images at the size, but they are the same. And it's pretty much what you've got already for your site. I'm on the wrong page again. But we're just making more of a point of the 1,000 professionals from over 100 companies. So we're
I mean, people don't want to read too much crap, you know.
I doubt if people read this.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
They'll definitely read this.
Yeah,
because it pops out of them.
Yeah, it's more impactful. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, you've only got to get their attention, and by having this bigger, you sometimes get people to look at it and go, oh, actually, and then they will read this. But if it's all in the same size, there's nothing different going on with it.
Yeah, nothing sticks out.
Yeah, you want something that just draws their eye into it. Some people use color to do that. Other people use fonts like we have here, but we're also trying to keep it clean as well. You notice the bottom half of this site is all in silver, and the top half is kind of in the sort of
I like how it kind of moves at the top. I don't know what you call that, but at the very top, it kind of jumps in.
That was another thing as well. Just a little bit of movement on the page. You'll notice that there's pulses. Fantastic. So it's
I noticed that, but I didn't notice that it jumps in.
Yeah, it's when you go off of it and then go back.
Oh wow, yeah. Well, that's so cool.
So
I wanted to do that, but I didn't. Well, I'm sure I could have found out how to do it if I took the time, but I thought, and the buttons at the bottom as well. I was going to ask you about that. How can I make them more prominent? So that's really cool.
Yeah, I like to put these big blocks in. One thing is on your messenger widget, I know you followed my tutorial. I should have been more specific about certain things.
You should have realized your audience, how basic they are.
Well, no, it wasn't that. I didn't notice. I should have noticed, because when I did it on my site, it did the same thing. But I've got a massive block like this, so I'm not that worried. It gets in the way of the social icons. So
and they're quite small. Yeah.
There is a setting in the widget that allows you to push it from the right-hand side. So if you set that at about 200, it will push it away from the social icons.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it doesn't matter anyway, because I'm just going to copy what you did on my pages. So
you need to move that or remove it across. But that's good. So I want to jump into the page itself. I've got a second version here as well, which I want to show you. So I'm going to go into the edit, and I'm just going to show you a few of the key things that you need to know. One is the animation.
Okay. Wow, the difference between mine and yours is like total amateur and professional. Amazing.
Well, it's really funny. There's not much to it, you know. It's like it's just change of color, but the main thing here is you start from that branding color block. You get colors that work together. If you're like, oh, I don't know what colors to pick, have a look around on the internet, see what other sites are doing, see, oh, they're nice colors, and then just sort of emulate those, you know.
Yeah. For the membership page, which is the newest page that I did a couple of weeks ago, I took another page that I really liked, and I kind of almost copied it step by step, and because I really liked what they were doing. So
that's a good idea. That's
because I was just basically throwing them together.
Yeah, I mean that's the way to do it. I mean that's what lots of companies do. Lots of the Japanese
see what else is working. And
yeah, I mean you look at the Japanese motorbike industry. I mean it's classic, not so much now, but it was built on ripping off lots of the other companies. The companies would spend like tons of money producing these amazing designs. That happens with cars as well, where they'd spend tons and tons of money developing this perfect shaped car and all these things, and then suddenly they would come out with sort of Japanese or Chinese versions of these cars, and they would be following the shape. They spent no money on development.
Just copied.
It happens. It's just the world. Yeah, so inside here, to make the animation happen, this is really cool. I love the animation features inside Zenler because they've made it so easy.
Yeah, it looks really professional. It takes it to another level. Like,
it does, and it's at every single level. So you can animate this whole block if you wanted to. You've got animation here. You've got animation on a complete row, so everything in that row. And you can go across to the settings and you've got animation. So I've got flip X in. Now, with animation, don't get too carried away. Try to keep it in what, if you like one way of it working, stay with that.
Yeah.
I've seen lots of people with the animation go, oh, animation, and they start animating every single thing.
And your eyes don't know what to do.
You little, like a small amount is more, really. So like in here, this is really good because when I pick one of these, it will show you what happens. So I've got flip in X. So if I go to bounce left in, you get this happen.
Okay, yeah. So you
right?
see it.
You can set intervals. So like that pulsing button, I've set an interval of 3 seconds. So every 3 seconds, it will repeat the animation. Okay, here. So you can say after interval, after 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, do it again. That's what the interval is. So delay is how much of a delay. So someone lands on your page. If you've got a delay of 5 seconds, the animation won't happen until they've been on your page for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So that's the difference between these. Other than that, you can just have fun with it. So you can go to flash in. That's what gives you a flash in. Again, we've got flipping X. We've got tons of things. Tadar is one that's used quite a lot. So it's probably a little bit salesy, that one.
Yeah. It's kind of out of sync with the nice, elegant page.
Yeah, it is, yeah. And we've got fade as well. Speaking of fade, we have fade in here. Here we go, fade in. So you got that. It's a little bit quick, that fade in for me, to be honest. But I tend to like the flip X in. So flip X,
that's nice.
When it says flip X, X in the 3D world is the horizontal, okay? So if you see Y, it's the vertical. So we have a flip in what X, we have a flip in Y. So if I do Y, it does it that way, comes down.
Wow.
Flipping X does it, flipping X.
Flipping X, yeah.
So that's how it works. But this is really good though, Sabrina, because you could animate this. Then if you wanted to, inside that, you could animate this as well. So you could do bounce in here. So now we've got 2 animations going on. Let me just save it and preview. You're going to have the main block change, and then you're going to have that element changing as well. So if I just flick the page up and it will load, it's going to do that, and then that's going to bounce as well.
Cool.
So you could layer them on the top. Now, if you want to get really, and I want to do a little bit of a tutorial on this because I think it'd be really cool. If, for instance, you wanted something flipping in, and then you want something sort of fading up, you could set it. You could set it so that it does its first move in.
The delay.
Yeah, delay the fading of the first one. So make that straight away. Second one, make it 1 second, one after 2, and so on. And then they would come up in series.
Yeah.
So you can really get inventive with this stuff. That's what I love about it.
But it does just bring the page to life, doesn't it? It really just brings it to another level.
Yeah, that's what people want now, like with gamification and interaction on websites. If you can give the impression of the website being sort of like a little bit reactive to what you're doing, people will be like, oh, look, you know? So
yeah, subconsciously, but they're kind of a bit more impressed than they are with just a plain.
Yeah. Yeah, there's just, and it's built in, even things like the slideshow that just goes around. And when you put your mouse over it, it doesn't move. So it just stay there on that one. If it's a bigger thing, then people need that to stop. Yeah, and that's it really. We've got here, the form's changed a bit. I did this wide, but it probably could do with being normal size, but I just wanted it to match these corners.
Yeah.
So that is it really. Not a lot to it.
David, it's lovely. It's so pretty. I love it. I'm so impressed.
So I've got this new one here that I was kind of like playing around. I mean, what I like is about it, all guys, like if you're doing this stuff, have fun with it. If you've got the page unpublished, play around, just play around and just have fun with the animation, try changing colors, and you're going to be fine. But if we go down to this one, this is a new version. So this is the one we just looked at. So this is a new version here. It's pretty much the same. It's a little bit more washed out, but it's cleaner. And
yeah,
here
it depends what you want.
Yeah. So you've got this going on. And here we go. I've done the blocks here.
Yeah, that's nice too.
Yeah. So, and that's the same size here. So I just put the contact form below the connect form. But this was really good. And this shows you a classic case of cutting out.
Singing as well. Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah. Yeah. So going into that page, this can be refined a bit. I just did it quite quickly yesterday because I wanted to play around with a different version just to show you how quick. Took me to do that.
I was going to ask you, yeah.
Yeah, that new page probably took me less than 15 minutes.
Oh my God. I'd be there for hours.
No, honest, you wouldn't, because you've already got this page. This page took the longest.
Yeah, you see, this is going to be my template now, so this is I'm going to be able to just clone and change for each page.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic, and keep everything uniform.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you can just, as Sabrina said, if you've got the Pro and Premium, you can save the block out. Guys, if you are using a free version, you can come along here, copy the code, and then paste it into an empty block. And we've got tutorials on that. But you guys are on Pro and Premium, you can just come in and save the block out. So yeah, this was really good though, because like by having you cut out there, you could go ahead and just drop an image in the background. So if I had this little face one that was, so you see it sort of shows through.
Yeah.
So it can be really powerful, and I'll turn that up, and you've got something else going on there. Really quick, like 2 seconds, it completely changes the whole look of it.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And the first page, how long did it take you, David? Do you remember? The original?
More taking some of the images and things, but it was not long, probably an hour.
Wow.
Thanks
so much for doing this. Thank you so much. Really.
No, it's all right. I thought it was a great one to sort of showcase, because I think, you might think, oh yeah, it does look completely different. It does, but really there's not a lot difference going on. It's just like the text, it's setting that. This is the important thing with live builds. It's like, it doesn't really matter. I could take someone's site and I could give them the branding sheet. I could hand it back to them, and then they would create something that would be much better because they've got a consistency running through. And this is the key thing. Like I've mentioned it numerous times now, it's the amount of people that use multiple font sizes for their headings, for their body text, spacing. If you keep it consistent, your site is going to look 100 times better.
Much better, yeah. Much more professional.
Yeah. So I've basically taken what you've done, changed it a little bit, and that's what you get. And like you said, Sabrina, now you can take this, you know what you need to do.
Yeah, it's going to be my template. Yeah,
take it, start using it, but still play around. It's your site, make it yours. Choose maybe different images, if you want to use geometric designs and things like that for backgrounds, you could do that to really sort of make it your own. That's it. Wow. So there we have it. And I think we are a few minutes early. So any other questions, Sabrina?
Yeah, while you're on my site, go and hop over to the membership page, and I'll just, if you go into our courses at the top.
Okay.
There, do you mind?
Oh, no, absolutely not.
It's when I have you.
No, that's That's what it's all about.
So if you go to all courses at the top.
Right, let me go to,
Yeah, I actually need to make this page a page of its own. But for now it's in order. Okay, so the first one there, fast track to English fluency. I think I need to change the name as well. So this is the one that I copied bit by bit, and I thought it looked fine, but compared to yours now, it's just, it's not a patch on yours, you know. But this was the one that I thought was probably better, definitely better than the homepage. But yeah, so what I can do is I'll just be able to use your homepage as a template and just change all the details within it.
Yeah, I would. The colors there, you know, obviously, if you set your branding colors.
Yeah, it's the same bland colors as I have throughout. So.
Yeah, and also I noticed like on your main homepage, it was like you were using capitals, but I'm a big fan of using capitals, and I tend to probably overuse them. But when I saw your site, I was looking at it and I was like, do you know what? This is kind of like, it's an English site, but it's softer, you know, it's got a softer approach to it. So that's why I wanted to go upper and lowercase.
Yeah. Oh my God, there's way too much capitals in that.
Yeah, because it's like capitals like shouting, aren't they? So it's kind of like really, I really like, I think capitals can be used, but
they can be useful.
Yeah, you have to be really sensitive with them.
Yeah.
Some people really don't like. I remember I was doing a live and I was like, can people put their chat comments in capitals so they really stand out? And I actually had one student kind of leave the course because they were really annoyed that
oh wow, that's quite sensitive.
And I was like, oh yeah, sorry, I won't do it again. But maybe I should.
That is a high level of sensitivity. Yeah.
But it shows you, doesn't it? It shows you like the impact. When I look at that, it's like, I like, wow, whoa, that's urgent. I've got maybe it's
what have I got to do?
I've got to sign up for it.
Or you'll just say, oh my God, this is terrible, and go away, which is what a lot of people do. And the other thing I wanted to ask you was about the social media icons, but you've answered that without me asking. Is it like making them bigger, making them more prominent? So that's brilliant.
Yeah, I would. I'll send you the social media pack, because what we've done on tutorials might be better for you. Obviously not as bold and as big as these, but it would actually be quite good to give you a pack of the logos.
Yeah.
Because these logos link straight through. With what I've done on your site is they are icons, and you can't link in an icon. That's why I've put Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram at the bottom. So I want to do another pack. I just didn't have time to do it, but I'm going to send you that in the pack anyway.
Okay, great. That page looks great, by the way. You're doing a workshop on that on Sunday, no?
Yes, Sunday. Are you coming to that?
I can't.
Oh, well.
I don't think I can anyway, but if I can, I will. But you will be recording. It'll be up on the...
Yeah, it will be. We'll be putting it onto the YouTube channel. So it's going to be...
So if I miss it, it'll be there.
Yeah, it's going to be up there. So you'll see. It's going to help a lot of people out. I had John Orion, who's, you know, he's on the lives quite a lot.
Yeah.
And he really wanted to be shown how it was done, because he's doing a ukulele site and he wants to use the same kind of formatting. So I said, well, okay, great idea. Let's just do it as a live workshop, take you behind the scenes, and just have fun with it, really. But yeah, I mean, I think you've got enough information to be able to change things, but it can be really interesting. So guys, you guys that are watching this, make sure you go to Ingles Con Killian now and again, probably give Sabrina like a week or so and see how it's changed.
No pressure.
No pressure. The pressure is on you to get it done.
Yeah, no, definitely. When I have it now and it's fresh, I still have to finish my marketing homework, David. As a student, I'm on the intros and outros this weekend. That's where I am. I was away a lot of August, so between coming and going, I didn't have the chance. And that was it. So in terms of, some people say that it's better to have a separate about us page. Is that, you know, do you really need to have so many things at the top, or? You know,
it's a good question. Some people like to do some people like just one page with everything running down.
On the page,
Personally, I just like to keep it on track. Like if people want to know about you, then I'll put a little bit down the bottom, and then I'll go to an About Us page. You can have an About Us page, but
yeah,
probably with what it depends what you're teaching and how much you're going to write. If it's a little bit of content that you're telling people about,
yeah, it's not going to be. I mean,
yeah,
people don't want to know about me. They want to know about how to access classes and stuff. So
yeah, but people do vest in people. You know, I think it's really it's misunderstood. I think people buy into other people. It's like even if there's two teachers and one isn't academically as good as the other, but I like them better, I'll go with that person.
Yeah.
Just because you can bounce off them, and it depends on the thing.
It's true. And I mean, this area is completely saturated as well. So anything that makes you makes you stand out a little bit is good, I suppose. So, yeah. And I know I'm going off track, but for people who want to translate to a different language as well, to have two languages on their site. So for me in the future, I want to have English and Spanish. How are people doing that? Do you know?
Do you want to use a translator, or do you want to word it all yourself?
A translation server. I would translate it and then I would check it with a native to make sure that everything sounds good,
Oh no, I mean I'm going back to my tutorial site again. Oh, it's quite good having a tutorial site to keep bumping against. That I've got here, like any live text when I mean live text, I mean.
Oh, you got to select language. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, you can go up here, so you can put it in Albanian there. Like if you can read that, so it gives that translation. So I always do it to translator. If you want to do a separate site, it's going to be
See, I wouldn't like to do a separate site. I'd like to have everything in the one site, but then if someone is like, oh, it'd be easier for me to read this in my own language, so they could just click and go straight to Spanish, like you have there, just the button at the top.
The only thing is, if they're in a course, is it going to be in English?
The courses are all going to be in English. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
it's only for the pages, the landing pages and stuff, So if people want to read it in Spanish, if their level is lower, just like you have there, no?
Okay. So you might have to create a series of other pages. What I do is get your site sorted, then set up a duplicate homepage, translate it into maybe Spanish, and take it from there and slowly build it up.
Yeah.
So, and then you can connect. So in the menu, you can put Spanish, and then they could click straight through to that page.
Yes.
You might want to separate the main dynamic menu because obviously you'd have too many items. It doesn't translate. So you'd have to probably do it as a manual header.
Yeah, you could just have a button where they could click, read in Spanish. Or
actually, you know what? Maybe a simpler route, so that you could keep the dynamic header, would be to set up a second site, call it Spanish, and basically clone all your blocks across as pages. Don't set up any courses in it, but just use it as a translation page, and then link back to the courses where you need to. That would work.
So all they have to do is
keep it. It would keep it separate.
Then you've got two sites.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably for my little brain, it's probably easier if I could just have a button and click. Yeah, but that's all. You could, for example, they come to your landing page, they want to read it in Spanish, they click a button and it takes them to the other site. That's all, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like you said, just keep it on the one site and just simplify it.
Maybe add pages.
Yeah. Have the only problem that exists is the top header, which is a dynamic area. So it's like you're not going to have two, but then you could have a drop down underneath it. You could have a drop down under Spanish, and then you could have a drop down to all the pages.
Yeah, or on every landing page or on every page that I want to also translate to Spanish, I could just have a prominent button, read in Spanish. Click it, brings them to another page that's translated into Spanish. No? Be the easiest, no? Okay.
Perfect.
All right, going totally off topic, but these are all my little thoughts. Okay.
Brilliant. No, that's good. All right, I'm going to have Kevin on in a few minutes. So there we go. So that was Sabrina's site. She's happy, which is always good. It's going to be funny when I actually do a live build for someone and they go, I don't like it.
That's not going to happen. David, thanks a million. I really appreciate it. I really do.
Thanks for having me on it. Thanks for letting us demo your site as well. It's brilliant.
Oh, pleasure's mine. Thanks a million. Talk to you soon.
All right. See you later. Bye.